What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the overall market moving forward, break down the economic calendar, which you should be watching for as time progresses for Tesla stock. Let me just mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Looking at Tesla, we're actually testing this resistance at this 20 EMA, this $200.66 area right now. And once this breaks, if we do get a break above this, we'll be looking for a nice push to the upside. Otherwise, Tesla's been consolidating so far in this pre-market session. So the question is, what catalysts are coming out for today? What should you be watching for? I'm going to talk about all of that right now. One thing worth mentioning is that we have consumer inflationary expectations at 11 o'clock a.m. for today, and that's actually for Monday, August 12th, 2024. And then at 11:30 a.m., we have the 3 and 6 month bill auctions coming out. So look for some volatility at 11 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see what we end up seeing from here. For more pieces of data, I just want to mention that for Monday, we had Monday.com just announced their earnings. Then we have TerraWolf. For Tuesday, we have the Home Depot and a few others. For Wednesday, we have Cisco. And Thursday's when we have Alibaba and Walmart. Just want to give you guys a heads up about that. Monday.com, the share price is up about 10%. They got some very, very nice looking reports. The second quarter revenue is at 236 million, up 34% year over year. They also closed an 80,000 seat agreement, which is great news for them in that case. And they actually saw some very, very nice growth, especially because of these projections. Q2 also marks their third year since their debut on the NASDAQ. So since they went IPO, which is great for them. Net cash positive is what we're starting to see, and very, very nice projections. So that's actually some good news for them. Financial outlook is pretty strong with very, very solid growth. So right now, that's why the share price is up, and that's why we're seeing a lot of excitement right now. So good for them. As I speak right now, there's still a 50 chance of the Fed giving us either a 25 or 50 basis point cut. This also depends on what we get for CPI. So don't forget that for Tuesday for the week, we have PPI, and then Wednesday we have CPI. So those are going to be some big catalysts, at least for the markets. For some more news, Rivian has confirmed that the R2 charge point has moved to the driver's side. That's going to help it accommodate the Tesla supercharger use. Once again, very, very important stuff for them. And then this gives them not only a lot more access to Tesla's supercharging network, but it's going to help Tesla as well, at least to a large extent. So Tesla's going to have to accommodate for a larger amount of vehicles that are going to be using their superchargers. So this is going to be big for them. And with this new design, I think it's going to be just incredible news for them as well moving forward. There's also been a lot of talk about the next update on AI5 or the new hardware update. I think it's going to be very, very cool for Tesla too. Musk mentioned that the team is still working on it, and there's going to be a lot of improvements to be made, at least when it comes to the combined highway and city stacks into a single stack, and then also driver monitoring that's going to allow drivers to wear sunglasses without being nagged. So a lot of cool things are going to be coming out like that, and I can't wait to see what happens once this is released. But they're still working on a lot of updates, so pretty cool stuff. As far as Tesla goes, I just want to mention that the structure is a little bit more bullish looking when you look at this inverse head and shoulders, but we're still fighting this tough resistance around this 200.7 area. Once again, our 20 EMA. Breakdown Tesla should be pushing, but so far it is favoring upside a bit more. If we were to lose 198, look at 195. If that breaks, Tesla will be dipping down to the lower 190s, just so you guys know. But this chart is favoring upside a little bit more if we try to break this resistance. So far we're kind of consolidating, but there's a good chance we're going to try to break because the market's trying to push, and then we have a nice structure, especially on our daily. You guys can see the daily has kind of like a wedge forming, so might try to get close to this EMA all the way up to 205, but we got to try to hold above 200 first, so I'll be watching for that very carefully. As far as SPY goes, I just want to mention SPY looks bullish on the daily, and then on the 4-hour time frame, we're testing 535 as resistance. If that breaks, we're going up to 538, then 540. In order for us to start dipping, watch 530 as key support. If we lose that, there's 528 and then lower levels, so we'll have to see if we hold these levels. But thus far, SPY is favoring upside. Looking at the trend, ES as well. Watch for Tesla 5400. We'll see if that breaks or not. If we do break that, we could be pushing all the way up to about closer to the mid 5400s. We have a nice double bottom on ES. So as of right now, the chart is favoring upside. SPX is also favoring upside to test gap resistance around 53.80. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. For Nvidia, we're trying to push a little higher. As long as we hold above 104, we're going to be favoring upside for 108. Looks pretty good so far. Bitcoin trying to rebound. This is what I predict. I said we might be testing 58,000, try to bounce off Bitcoin. I called that out yesterday, and that's what's happening so far. We'll see if we can get above 59,792. If we do so, we could push higher. So I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. For others out there, like the QQQ, we're bullish. Going to be looking for a test of 454. If we could break that, we have this gap to fill all the way up to about 457. It favors upside. As long as we don't lose 447.5 now or 20 EMA, we're going to favor upside. So if we lose 447.5, we turn back down. If we break past 454, we go back. We're going to continue to push. I see us testing 454 soon, if not higher, as the most likely possibility, by the way. So we look more bullish. Apple's trying to hold up. We kind of try to hold above 215. As long as we hold above that, we could try to fill this gap for 219. I find that to be very, very probable. But if we end up losing 215.7, we could be dipping. Just want to give you guys a heads up. The IWM is looking pretty good. We're consolidating a bit. I want to see if this could get closer to about 209. As long as we hold above 207 to 208, if we could break that range, we're going to turn bullish. If we lose 205, look for 203 again. So it's still consolidating, in my opinion. There's a little bit of upside potential, but I just wanted to call that out. For Coinbase, we're also consolidating right now. However, if we manage to break past 195.5, we could be looking for a pushback up towards this gap fill at 202. And if we lose 190, we could be dipping back down towards the imbalance and the 180 area. Amazon's looking more bullish. It's trying to push up higher. Make sure you look at 167 as our key area. And if we break through this, I'll be looking for a pump all the way up towards 171. If we lose 167, we'll be dipping all the way back down towards 162. But I do see potential for us to fill this gap and go up to 171 as long as we're above 166. Meta is looking pretty good right now, trying to push up higher. It's still consolidating up here. We got to try to get back above 518. If we hold above 518, I think we could be looking for a push all the way up to about 525 plus. If we end up retracing, look at support around 513. We got to try to hold this 513 area, 510 to 513 area. If we hold this, then we could continue higher. If we lose that, we're going back down to 502. So what I think might happen is maybe Meta dips a little bit towards 515. We could go a little lower to 512 to 513 as well. But even if there's a little dip, we could still bounce and start to go a little higher after that. For Microsoft, we look more bullish. If we lose 405, look for a dip. And if we continue on this trend, we're easily going up to 412. I favor a push for 412. I find that to be more probable. For Google, if we manage to break past 166, we'll be looking for a push all the way up towards this gap fill at 168. If we end up losing 164, we'll be dipping back down. But this is favoring the gap fill above and a little bit more upside, in my personal opinion. With that being said, the dollar is kind of like trying to push a bit, but it's pretty flat right now, not really doing much. And then the VIX, we're just going to be watching to see what kind of reaction we get. We still have this gap to fill below, but later on, it might get one more spike in volatility. So we have another gap above. So we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. Tesla has upside potential, but watch this resistance around 200.7. Once we break that, there's going to be more upside coming towards 205. If not, we're just going to consolidate. But so far, Tesla's looking pretty decent, in my personal opinion. With that being said, thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours, and peace out.